Kamala Harris giving her speech. Okay, let's see what happens here. Oh, I hope she gives a good speech. I really do. I really do. I'm praying for her, man. I really hope. Let's see what she says. No Beyonce in the chat. I don't want to listen to Beyonce right now. No Beyonce.
No. Good. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So let me say, and I love you back. And I love you back. So let me say, my heart is full today. My heart is full today, full of gratitude for the trust you placed in me, full for our country, and full of resolve. The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for, but hear me when I say, the light of America's promise will always burn bright. As long as we never give up, and as long as we keep fighting. To my beloved Doug and our family, I love you so very much. To President Biden and Dr. Biden, thank you for your faith and support. To Governor Walz and the Walz family, I know your service to our nation will continue. And to my extraordinary team, to the volunteers who gave so much of themselves, to the poll workers and the local election officials, I thank you all. Look, I am so proud of the race we ran and the way we ran it, over the 107 days of this campaign. We have been intentional about building community and building coalitions, bringing people together from every walk of life and background, united by love of country, with enthusiasm and joy in our fight for America. And we did it with the knowledge that we all have so much more in common than what separates us. Now, I know folks are feeling and experiencing a range of emotions right now. I get it. But we must accept the results of this election. Earlier today, I spoke with President-elect Trump and congratulated him on his victory. I also told him that we will help him and his team with their transition, and that we will.
What makes this weird is that a lot of the things in the presidential race, when Kamala was campaigning, she blamed on Donald Trump. And that was actually a big criticism that I had of her, because I was very objective in my videos, and I actually pushed a lot of people off of me when I was very objective. I said she needs to stop blaming him for majority of the stuff, because when you do that, people can see right through it. When people hear you interview and they say, for example, why did the border crossings for illegal immigrants quadruple in 4 years? You can't sit here and tell us to our face that although they quadrupled in 4 years, you're still going to blame Donald Trump for that. And that's a big reason why she could have lost. The fact that she didn't take much accountability on things that went wrong during the tenure of her and Biden is a big reason why she could have failed.
Engage in a peaceful transfer of power. A fundamental principle of American democracy is that when we lose an election, we accept the results. That principle, as much as any other, distinguishes democracy from monarchy or tyranny. And anyone who seeks the public trust must honor it. At the same time, in our nation, we owe loyalty not to a president or a party, but to the Constitution of the United States. And loyalty to our conscience and to our God. My allegiance to all three is why I am here to say, while I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
What?
The fight for freedom, for opportunity.
And that's another thing. The Democratic Party is pushing this thing where freedom. I know that was her biggest thing. Freedom, freedom. I can't. That's like the Beyonce song. Here's my opinion on that. When it comes to freedom, when haven't we been free? And that's a real question. That's a genuine question. Y'all, when haven't we been free? Because Kamala Harris's campaign is centered around freedom. That implies we don't have freedom now, but I'm in my mind, I'm like, we kind of do have freedom. Don't really know what she's getting at with that, but anyways, let's continue.
For fairness and the dignity of all people, a fight for the ideals at the heart of our nation, the ideals that reflect America at our best. That is a fight I will never give up. I will never give up the fight for a future where Americans can pursue their dreams, ambitions, and aspirations, where the women of America have the freedom to make decisions about their own body.
Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh.
Telling them what to do.
What are you talking about?
We will never.
What is she talking about? This freedom for your own body. What are you talking about? And I hate hearing that because it's not true. Even when it goes to Roe versus Wade, people think Roe versus Wade got rid of abortion. It put it in the state's hands. It puts it in the state's hands. So Kamala, when you say that, what are you talking about? It's a lie. And it's a flat out lie that I don't know why they keep saying this. There are freedoms. It's just in the state's hands now. Before it was a federal thing. Now it's a state thing. What?
The fight to protect our schools and our streets from gun violence. And America, we will never give up the fight for our democracy, for the rule of law, for equal justice, and for the sacred idea that every one of us, no matter who we are or where we start out,
the subscribe button,
has certain fundamental rights and freedoms that must be respected and upheld. And we will continue to wage this fight in the voting booth, in the courts, and in the public square. And we will also wage it in quieter ways, in how we live our lives, by treating one another with kindness and respect, by looking in the face of a stranger and seeing a neighbor, by always using our strength to lift people up, to fight for the dignity that all people deserve. The fight for our freedom will take hard work, but like I always say, we like hard work. Hard work is good work. Hard work can be joyful work. And the fight for our country is always worth it. It is always worth it.
And even this discussion, Kamala, I don't know if she knows she lost. I really don't know. And the reason I say that is because she's saying the fight for our country is always worth it. I 100% agree. The fight for our country is always worth it. But Kamala, you not only lost the electoral votes, you also lost the popular vote. That means the majority of Americans literally did not vote for you. So it kind of feels like I don't know if she knows she lost when I listen to this, because the country fought against you. Do you guys get what I'm saying? The country fought you. They fought you and you lost. And this is not my personal opinions. This is just what's happening. The country wanted you out of here. They voted you out of here. The popular vote voted you out of here. The electoral college is going to vote you out. They were going against you. Like, you were the bad guy in this situation. This is not what I think. This is just what happened. So, Kamala, do you know that you didn't win any aspect? You didn't win any of the swing states? You didn't win the popular vote? Do you know this? Or is it something that your team hasn't told you yet?
To the young people who are watching, it is... I love you guys.
Oh my gosh. Now you like young people. Now you do. Okay.
To the young people who are watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed, but please know it's going to be okay. On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Sometimes it takes long. That doesn't mean we won't win. That doesn't mean we won't win. The important thing is don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying to make the world a better place.
What?
You have power.
What?
You have
You gotta
power.
be kidding me.
And don't you ever listen when anyone tells you something is impossible.
Kamala, like, this is what I'm talking about, y'all.
Before.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. This right here. This woman, Vice President Kamala Harris, or former Vice President Kamala Harris, has been caught on camera calling young people stupid. Now that you lost, you're saying, oh, never stop fighting. You guys can do whatever you want. Kamala, and I've said this in my videos, this is why people couldn't take you serious, because you've been caught so many times going back on your words. This is exactly why. This is what's happening. Kamala, you have to stop going back on what you said. You have to stop. This is insane. It feels like someone is writing this down like a script or something. And I try to give you the benefit of the doubt. I really did. I genuinely tried my hardest to convince people to take you serious. But Kamala, you keep going back. It's like every time I watch you, you have a different perspective on life. I can't believe this.
You have the capacity to do extraordinary good in the world. And so to everyone who is watching, do not despair. This is not a time to throw up our hands. This is a time to roll up our sleeves.
Roll up your sleeves. Middle class.
And to stay engaged for the sake of freedom and justice and the future that we all know we can build together. Look, many of you know I started out as a prosecutor, and throughout my career, I saw people at some of the worst times in their lives. People who had suffered great harm and great pain, and yet found within themselves the strength and the courage and the resolve to take the stand, to take a stand.
Wait, you were a prosecutor though. So weren't you the one when they were taking the stand? You were taking the stand against them to send them to jail. That's what's happening, Kamala. Not saying that you were wrong. That's your job. That's your career. That's your chosen career. Whatever. But the fact still stands. When they were taking the stand, you were also taking the stand to prove they're guilty. That's what's happened. But that's your job. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and shame all prosecutors, but it's just a weird stand. It'll be different if you were a defense attorney and you said this, but a prosecutor, you've seen many people fight for their life. You fought against them. No offense, but that's just what happened.
To fight for justice, to fight for themselves, fight for others. Let their courage, our inspiration,
What?
charge. And I'll close with this. There's an adage an historian once called a law of history, true of every society across ages. The adage is, only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. I know many people feel like we're in a dark time.
Most
But
people
for
don't
the
feel that, Kamala.
benefit of us
They voted
all,
against you.
I hope that is not the case. But here's the thing, America, if it is, let us fill the sky with the light of a brilliant, brilliant billion of stars.
What? Kamala, what?
The light of optimism, of faith, of truth, and service.
What are you talking about? What is going on here? Am I okay? Y'all, I know I'm not the smartest person. I think I'm pretty intelligent. Um, and it's just crazy looking at her smile right now. Kamala, what are you talking about? Fill the fill the sky with billions and billions of stars. What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean, Kamala? And you're smiling. I don't even know what you just said. I don't even know how to interpret that. I know it's not a literal statement, but even the figurative language, I don't know how to interpret. I don't know what you're talking about. Fill the sky with billions of stars, and I don't know, man. I don't know.
You and may that work guide us, even in the face of setbacks, toward the extraordinary promise of the United States of America. I thank you all. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States.
Okay, she's done. She's done for now. It's obvious that even to this day, Kamala doesn't truly understand why people didn't vote for her. I don't even know how to respond to this. If I'm being honest, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I just felt she was a little confused in this, and I'm not going to say too much. I'm just going to show a video. This is a dentist or a doctor on why people didn't vote for Kamala. I'm not going to say too much. He'll say it for me.
Number one thing that people from the left do not understand about those who are for Donald Trump. Here it is, folks. All of the conversations that everyone has kind of been pinging back and forth, all summarized into one point that explains why the left does not get us on the right. Yes, I am on the right. I'm a conservative. Why? Because I have children and I give a damn about them. The left always asked, or on debates or anything, they always say the same thing. They always say that whatever Donald Trump says, everyone on the right does. Now, that is the furthest thing from the truth. Yes, Donald Trump does have massive support, and it's because he has earned it. But where they're getting confused is that they think that he is giving us the ideas. That's the thing. They think that everyone is saying, what is Donald Trump talking about? Okay, that is what I now believe in, but that is not what's going on. What the left is refusing to hear is that Donald Trump is talking about the topics that we care and talk about. That's the whole thing, right? He's not giving us a narrative that is telling us what to think. He is representing us conservatives who our voices keep getting taken out of the conversation more and more every single day. They don't understand that there is this massive movement of people who actually can unapologetically listen to everyone and systemically see what the problems are and what's going on in this country. And because of that, they can't understand that when something comes out of Donald Trump's mouth, we've already been talking about it. Now, I will say conservatives need to do a better job of just not caring what people from the left think.
So if you guys don't know what's going on, this is a professional giving his opinion on why people voted for Donald Trump in this upcoming election. He's basically talking about why Kamala Harris, it kind of feels like Kamala Harris underperformed tremendously in every single state. She did not win, and I thank you for the comments. She did not win a single battleground state. I don't think she won one battleground state. It was a crushing defeat. She didn't win the popular vote. It wasn't even close. He's saying that the reason why people voted for the right majority of the time, yes, Donald Trump won the popular vote, believe it or not, is because the left talked about issues that the right did not, I'm not going to say they didn't care about, but they were just more important issues in their minds, such as the economy. We were in an invisible recession for the past 4 years that Donald Trump, not Donald Trump, Joe Biden refused to acknowledge. Kamala Harris refused to acknowledge that we were in a recession. They downright refused to acknowledge it. We saw it because we are adults. We see it. I'm in college. I see it. They didn't acknowledge it. They refused to acknowledge that they messed up at the border, quadrupled the number of illegal immigrants. They didn't say that. The average person cares about that. They didn't acknowledge that there was inflation. They didn't acknowledge that the housing market has gone up 70%. And then another thing, Kamala Harris did technically lie about being black. I don't know if she's fully black. Apparently today she's fully black. A few years ago, it was a different story. It was just a lot of lies, a lot of gaslighting. And we, the people, they saw right through it. They saw through it, and that's why she lost. Not only did she lose battleground states, she lost the popular vote. She lost everything. I'm not going to lie. And when I watched her concede just now, I don't even know if she knows she lost. It sounded like she had a script. She was talking about the stars in the sky. I'm unsure what she meant by that. I don't even know. But all in all, she lost because she ignored the Republican side. Better yet, she ridiculed the Republican side and gaslit the Republican side into thinking that America was in a great place now, which is pretty ironic to me because her entire campaign centered around freedom. That was her theme song. Freedom, we have to do this. Freedom, we have to do that. We have to fight for a good America. Kamala, you're in office right now. You're talking about reproduction rights, which were kind of a lie too, but that's her stance. You're talking about you're going to restore reproductive rights. Kamala, you are the vice president. The vice president is the number one advisor to the president. If anybody in the world has the power to do that, you have the power to do that. But in the past 4 years, you didn't do that. You could have done it in your first 2 terms. It was majority Democrat. You could have done it, but you weren't thinking about that. And it's okay. It's just okay. You decide to think about other things. But now that you want to be the president, you're bringing up all these issues that you ignored for 4 years. Now you're bringing them up. You could have been fighting Congress this entire time for your version of reproductive rights if you thought it was right. You could have done that, but you didn't do it. You could have tried to sign the border bill 3 years ago, but you didn't do it. You could have tried to fight housing 3 years ago and given people $25,000 stipends for their first homes, but you didn't do it. And when people from the right acknowledge that you didn't do it. You pretended, for one, that you had no power. That's what you said, which is extremely strange considering that you're running for president now, but you're alluding to you having no power. Whatever. And two, you gaslit them into thinking that this stuff was already happening, as if I don't see the recession happening. I can literally go to the store and see the recession when I pick up a crate of eggs. I can see the recession in the bread price. Kamala, that's why you lost. It's not because you're illiterate or people are racist or people are sexist. That's not why. It's because Republicans had concerns, conservatives had concerns, and you ignored them. And someone in the comments said, dog, you're blaming her for things that Republicans voted against. Okay, Republicans could have voted against this, but Kamala Harris is not a Republican. She's a Democrat. Why didn't the number one advisor to the president, who had all these things she wanted to do them when she was the vice president? You're saying Republicans voted against them. They probably did, because Democrats and Republicans have different stances. But since she's a Democrat, she could have done these things when she was in office. She could have at least tried to do these things when she was in office. But here's the problem. Kamala Harris says she's fighting for reproductive rights. Tell me one law. Tell me one thing she's tried to do in the past 4 years to fight for reproductive rights. Tell me one thing. Just tell me one thing she's tried to do, made an attempt to do. I'm not saying things she signed into place. Just tell me, David. I want to know, because you're saying I'm blaming her for things Republicans voted against. What did she try to do that Republicans voted against? Did she try to give a $25,000 stipend to first-time home buyers in the past 4 years? She didn't. Did she try to overturn Roe versus Wade in the past 4 years? She didn't. And I'm not saying she didn't do anything. She didn't do this, though. What have I blamed her for? I'm just being honest. I'm just saying what conservatives thought. You're not doing what conservatives wanted to do. You're focused on letting in illegal immigrants. That's what you want to do. You're focused on outside countries. That's what you want to do. And it's fine. It's okay. But just be honest about it. But anyways, let's get back.
Because they will always hate you. They will always be racist against you. They will always shut down your ideas, your thoughts, shut down your science. They will your understanding of the system and how it works. They will shut down our opinions. Say your thoughts and stand by them and stand firm by while also not being like the people on the left. And you have to be flexible with your ideas, because sometimes we're wrong.
Anyways, I don't want to bash Kamala Harris too much. Okay, I do have a comment. The Biden administration passed a number of historic bills. There was definitely more to do, but you're blaming her for things Republicans opposed. What have I blamed her for that Republicans opposed? And if Republicans oppose them, I just asked you to list me things that she has done or tried to do in the past 4 years that are even relevant to what she's trying to do when she's in office. I blame her for what? The inflation. How did Republicans impose an inflation bill? I don't understand how Republicans impose that. And also, when you say I'm blaming her for things Republicans opposed, all I said was there was inflation in the past 4 years and she did nothing about it. There was no bill tied to that. There was a housing crisis in the past 4 years. There was immigration. Republicans did oppose immigration. They opposed her opening up the border. That's what they opposed. But she still did it. Now what Kamala Harris is doing is saying that, oh, now I want to close the border, and now Republicans are opposing it. Kamala, you could have closed the border 3 years ago, but you didn't. But anyways, I'm not here to bash Kamala Harris. I'm just being honest. She kind of was a little dishonest in the way she campaigned, and that's what Americans saw. Anyways, I do hope Donald Trump has a good presidency, and I wish Kamala nothing but the best. I just want the Democratic Party, when they do these type of things, to understand that you have to campaign for things the majority of Americans want. We wanted a good economy because it was bad. Go towards that. But anyways, I'm going to end this here. I'm going to see you guys next time. Peace.